Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Heather and with Heather Felke Creations, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today what I want to show you is how you color in white. So I have these white hydrangeas here and I want to show you how I colored them in because white is very difficult to color in since we don't actually have any white markers, and so it's all about adding dimension and depth to your image. So I have this very simple card that I made. I just used some Whisper White cardstock, stamped my image using Stays On ink. I colored in the leaves with Wild Wasabi Stampin' Right marker, and then I backed it or matted my image with some soft suede cardstock, and then I used some pattern paper from that set I showed you before, which is the Cafe Mediterranean. So this is, I hope you can see that okay on camera, the card that I made, and it's just a little thank you card, which the thank you is actually part of this stamp set. The stamp set is the Because I Care Hostess stamp set. It's this is a level 1, and it's actually one of my favorite. It probably is my favorite of the current Hostess sets, and it's a beautiful image. So let's get started on this. I have my image here that I've already stamped and pre-colored the leaves in to try to save time. And what I've done is on this is I just added a little bit of brown into the centers of the flowers, because I don't know if you've seen white hydrangeas, but they have a little bit of tan off-white color in the middle. So for this I'm going to use my Crumb Cake Stampin' Right marker, and I'm going to use the brush tip. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to just lightly come in and color in the center of my flowers. So I'm going to just real quick do that, just to kind of add some depth and a little bit of color to these flowers. So you can add as much as you'd like or as little. You can also use some soft suede along with this if you want to add extra shading to it. Soft suede is just a bit darker than the crumb cake. So let's see. You just keep going until you're happy with what you have, and make sure I'm not missing any here. So, okay, this is a pretty detailed stamp, so even if you do miss some, it's not going to be that big of a deal, just so you get a little bit of color in there. Okay, so just looking at that, make sure I'm happy with it. Okay, now, it looks pretty good as is, but I still feel that it's a bit flat. So I want my flowers to look more round, more full, and to kind of pop up a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Sahara Sand Classic Stamp Pad, and I'm going to squeeze it. I'm trying to get the ink into the top of the lid. Okay. And then I'm going to take a blender. Now my blender isn't as moist as I'd like it to be, but it's going to work for today's demonstration. So I'm just going to lightly lightly dip my blender pen in, and I'm going to come right underneath on the bottom, and it's going to be very, very faint, but that's okay. I don't want it dark because this is just a light shadow to try to make the white pop off the white paper. So, and of course closer to the stem, the darker I want it. So as I go out, I want the shadow to lighten, because that's the darkest part of the shadow is going to be under the bulk of the flower. Okay, so then I'm also going to add just a little bit of shadowing under my leaves, so I can make them pop a bit and also stay consistent, because if my flower has a shadow, my leaves should have a shadow as well. It's all about where the light is hitting it, and for today's purpose, the light is heading straight on. I could have used my lamp to try to dictate to me where my light is going to be, and if I wanted to still do that, I still can. All I do is I darken the shadow areas that I've already colored in, making the lighter part of my shadows towards the light. So in this case, The lightest part would be here on the right side of my shadows, and the darker shadows would be here on the left. So I can go in and fill in to try to dictate where the light is. Add a little more under here. Okay, and so as that dries, it's actually going to lighten up a bit. I hope you can see that, but it just kind of makes your flowers look a little more round, and it makes it visible that these are actually intended to be white flowers. So I hope you can see that okay, and that you like this technique, because I do think white flowers are beautiful, and there isn't any reason why us as stampers or crafters couldn't get away with having some white flowers. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.